mamangha sa lalim at ganda ng ating kultura at diwang makabayan sa mga salita at pahina. Sa tulong ng mga guro at manunulat ng panitikang Pilipino, halina't tuklasin ang yaman ng ating panitikan, ang pamana ng ating lahi. Ito ang Sari-Sari, tuwing Miyerkules, 11 ng umaga, dito sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. All caps, mga Atinista, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields, as we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
Just Call Music Ministry. Music that uplifts the soul. Follow Just Call PH on Spotify and Just Call Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow Justcom PH on Spotify and Justcom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Have you ever wondered how our blue eaglets are formed by the Ateneo? How they learn to take their first step, run, and fly? Join Batang Atinista as Jerome Garcia, Jeff Velasco, and Jenny Salvania, otherwise known as the Team JJJ of the Ateneo Grade School, share with us how the Ateneo is starting them young. Batang Atinista. Only here at Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
The time has come when we can fly and spread our wings against the sky.
We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Calling on all young male professionals. Do you wish to live an extraordinary life? Are you tired of the routine and mundane and long for a dynamic, adventurous, and even dangerous life? Do you wish to make your life count and hope to make an impact long after you're gone? Do you wish to live a life of service to society, to country, and to dear Mother Earth? Then you are the one we are looking for. Consider the Society of Jesus. Join the church's gallant army and turn your world upside down. Call the Jesuits Vocations Promotions Team 426-6101, local 3406. Once again, 426-6101, local 3406.
We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Just Call Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow JustCom PH on Spotify and JustCom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content. Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Socio-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle. Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa loob sa labas ng
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Right, what is up, Pinoy football fans everywhere across the Philippines and beyond? We are back over here at Radyo Katipunan 87.9 to talk about everything and anything NFL. Of course, joining me again, SS Steven Silva, coming straight from California. And of course, Coach Hammer Martin Antonio. We are your Tailgate Tropa, and we are going to unload lots and lots of stuff recapping NFL Opening Week 2020. Now, of course, this was a season that had a lot of uncertainty even before it began. But Steven, I'll start with you. I think the biggest winner for NFL Opening Week 2020 was that the league had no COVID-19 cases recorded. And I think that's the best gift you can ask for 12 hours.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Week 1 is officially in the books. Like you just said, no COVID infection. So far, so good. Hopefully, maybe they've taken a few cues from the other sports that have already started in baseball. We know the NBA, of course, being very careful with their popular NBA bubble term. So it's a learning process. You know, every league, every sport is trying to do their best to keep the players safe. And, you know, I can't stop smiling because the NFL is finally here. It's like Christmas for us. You know, we've been waiting so long. The last game was played back in February, so it's been about a good 6 or 7 months that we haven't been able to talk about real games, and especially with no preseason. You know, these are the actual live games happening. These are real bullets that are coming out, so really excited. Hopefully they can keep the course, keep the players safe, and, you know, we can have a good full season of football. Hopefully.
Coach H, I'll swing to you, What contributed to the success of the NFL? I know they allowed their own all 32 teams to have their own COVID-19 testing protocols, pero it didn't take a bubble system. It didn't take a groundbreaking move league-wide to ensure that no personnel, no staff, no player would test positive, diba? And it worked out fine.
Well, number one thing, it's all about discipline. It's all about committing to the work at hand. They kept themselves socially distant for the past month or so. They went to training camp. We watched, of course, all of us were watching Hard Knocks. Everybody was doing their part. There was a mini outbreak on the testing, but it was a false positive for most of the league. So they just kept themselves safe. Of course, being socially distant, they were wearing masks when they were in public, and for the most part, they just kept themselves away from any opportunity to get infected. And so we are here. We're very happy. As Steven said, it's like Christmas on September. I can't stop myself from smiling because we all love football, and it's just something that it takes away a lot of worries as of the moment.
Right. And it felt like for 12 hours there wasn't any pandemic going on. It just put us in a daze that made us all happy for that stretch. All right. So Steven, we have we have a list of games to break down, and let's start with the game that started it all, talking about the first matchup for the entire 2020 season. We got the Kansas City Chiefs dominating the Houston Texans 34-20. I know, okay. Steven, Pat Mahomes, 24 completions, 42 throws, 211 yards. No surprise with that. But, okay, let me take you back to the draft. We were talking about this. Chiefs general manager Brett Veach, he texted Patrick Mahomes and asked him back in April, who do you want to select for our team? Patrick Mahomes texted just one name, 6 characters, and he texted back Clyde. Because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he just gives a whole new dimension to this Chiefs offense.
Yes, I was just going to say that. It brings a whole new dimension because we already know what Patrick Mahomes can do through the air with his arm. You know, he's actually pretty mobile for a quarterback too. But adding that new dimension of having a dependable running back, it just opens up the offense even more because, playing football, it's September, you start getting into November, December, those cold, I was looking at the schedule. Kansas City has some games coming up in Denver, New York, Buffalo. They're going to need to run the ball. And, you have a guy like Clyde Edwards. It's scary. It's scary. These are the Super Bowl defending champs. And if they keep performances like this, they were down 7-0 and they go on to score 31 unanswered points. That's
amazing.
Scary.
Amazing.
That is scary.
Si Tito Martz naman. Okay, Kansas City ran 34 times, 166 yards. Get this, Edwards-Helaire had 25 of those carries, 138 yards. But when I was watching Edwards-Helaire, I noticed he's not a guy who will take it to the house for 72 yards, no. But he's a jitterbug. He has this unique stop-start ability. Sort of like a Darren Sproles, diba? It reminds me of that.
Escape ability, exactly like Darren Sproles. But one thing that you guys are overlooking, this offensive line is stacked. Me, I love the offensive line. I love the big C's up front. They got Osemele, of course, Mitchell Schwartz is there, and they were just clobbering people. They were just manhandling the defensive line of the Houston Texans. Even J. Watt had a hard time getting home. He was always covered, at least two guys covering him. And it's such a big thing when you have a very not explosive north to south style of running back. He's like an east to west running back. Edwards-Helaire was really an integral part. They had had this good of a running back since Kareem Hunt was with them, I think 2 seasons ago. But he gives them a different look, and it made Patrick Mahomes more efficient, as if we needed more reason of where Mahomes is at.
Exactly.
You know what, Steven? We talked about before how Bill O'Brien he made the dumbest move that he can make by trading away DeAndre Hopkins. But when I was watching the game, I don't even think if DeAndre Hopkins was there, he would make a real significant difference to decide the outcome of the game. Because the Bill O'Brien offense itself, it was so stale. It was I don't know, it was so dull, right?
I don't know about that. I think you want to ask Kyler Murray what he thinks about having DeAndre Hopkins on his side.
Later.
Losing DeAndre Hopkins, you're losing at least 10 to 12 catches, guaranteed a game. And just checking the stats, his first game with the Cardinals, which we're going to talk about later, he had 14 catches, 151 yards. So it just goes to show you cannot replace certain things. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best top 3 receivers right now in the game. And Bill O'Brien, I don't know what they're doing with Houston. It's Deshaun Watson, of course, he gets the new extension, but he still needs help. He can't do it all by himself. And this could be a really long season for the Texans because, like you said, with Bill O'Brien making all these weird moves, they keep wanting Deshaun Watson to do more, but they keep taking things away from him. Right. He needs weapons. He needs protection. He I don't know. We kind of put him together with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson can do it all. But at some point, you need someone to do it and help you out. He can't do it all by himself.
Right. And of course, Tito Martz, we also liked how Andy Reid did his impression of a Darth Vader with the face shield. Clogging up.
Kailangan a wiper. He needs wipers on that face shield. And to jump off what Steven said, Deshaun Watson needs more protection. Yes. It's basic. The pass rush of the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best. Interior on the edge, outside linebackers was putting pressure on Deshaun Watson. David Johnson had a good game. The first few carries, he was getting first on that, but they need more. Maybe as the season progressed, we would see them have a better connection with their receivers. Kenny Stills is there. What's his name? The fast guy from New Orleans, guy who always gets traded, is with them. Brandon Cooks, I think, is with them. And a lot of guys were not being able to catch catchable balls.
Right.
That's the simplest way. And they have a tight end who doesn't want to block on the running game. Did you see that replay on Honey Badger just pushing and pulling a guy like 40 pounds heavier than him? I mean, I could only shake my head.
Yeah.
And of course,
tight end should never get
right.
blown away by a safety. That shouldn't happen. That's just poor effort. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
I feel
Well,
bad.
bottom line, Tito Marts and Steven, comparing the Walrus, Andy Reid, to Bill O'Brien as a, in terms of scheming, that's not fair game at all. Anyways,
Night and day. Night and day.
Yeah, exactly.
going to another electric QB in the AFC, of course, our reigning defending MVP, Lamar Jackson, was busy carving up some Cleveland turkey to the tune of a 38-6 Ravens win over the hapless Browns, who I saw a screenshot of it. At one point in the game, they were facing 3rd and 41. So I'm
41.
not,
It's the most Browns down ever.
goodness me. So Odell Beckham Jr. has more than toilet trouble to deal with when you're down for 3rd and 41. But ito, Coach Martz, let's check out Lamar Jackson. Right. So when he was asked, Lamar, do you believe you're a better passer than last year? He said, I do. It's just dedication. Of course, Lamar Jackson finished 20 of 25 for 275 yards and 3 TDs. Do you see Lamar improving his accuracy as a passer?
Oh, definitely. A year in as a dual threat quarterback, yeah, he had the MV year. Now everybody respects he has more time hanging on the pocket. You see his pocket movement, his pocket protection was there the other day. Mark Andrews playing well. Snead was playing well. Of course, Hollywood Brown. If you put one safety on Hollywood Brown and he has a full head of steam, you are asking for trouble. Trouble. Anytime that you put him on one-on-one, he would put you on skates. And you know what the best part about the Baltimore Ravens? They put up the extra heavy 3 tight end, 1 fullback, 1 running back set, which I absolutely love. Those are the things,
Yeah,
the
I
heavy
knew you'd love
packages.
that, Coach.
I love it. You know me. I play that position and I love physical football. They did it a couple of times on the red zone and even on 4th downs. They played that lineup. But the question is, Lamar Jackson being a better passer, of course, because right now he understands his offense better, and the receivers now know the time and the route running that he needs and the windows that they would throw that ball.
Right. Steven, again, going back to Lamar Jackson, tight window throws, he was 3 of 4. Deeper throws, he went 9 of 10 for 180 yards. Play action plays, he was a perfect 10 for 10 on 128 yards. Do you see Baltimore? I know they're a very, very run heavy, of course, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of offense. But anyway, do you see Baltimore exploring more passing, more in the passing attack now that Lamar Jackson has improved his accuracy, right?
Oh, most definitely. I think Lamar Jackson said in an interview for the offseason, one of the things he was really working on was his passing. We already know what he can do with his legs. And during this game, he didn't even need to run that much. Like you said, 20 of 25 passing, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's 152.1 passer rating. He didn't need to run. And it's scary if Lamar is going to evolve even further. I mean, he's only, in year 3 as the Baltimore Ravens quarterback. This team doesn't have much weaknesses. I don't think they have any weaknesses if you look around the roster. I mean, they go in the offseason, they pick up Calais Campbell to strengthen up their defensive line, which is going to help them dividends even more. You're going to get a lot more pressure on the quarter. One of the top secondaries in the league. So, again, Baltimore, they don't have a lot of weaknesses. And, looking at the Browns, again, this is only week 1, but the Browns, it's you look at the history, they haven't won a season opener since 2004.
My goodness.
2004
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Are you even surprised?
I'm not. What was the stat? 3rd and 41?
3rd and 41.
I mean, the Browns, they're the Browns. And,
That should be a profile picture till next week, Anthony. for the group.
Third and
Third and 41.
podcast. But jumping off to what both of you said, I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
could see parallels of being a passer for Lamar Jackson. If you observe, he has that James Harden trajectory. As a runner, as a penetrator for James Harden, they're mostly the same type of guy. They can gash you off on the inside runs. But when James Harden had his point shot going, that's when Lamar Jackson needs to be laser and pinpoint. If Patrick Mahomes is your Steph Curry, I think Lamar Jackson could be a James Harden, but not extra microball.
Ooh, I like the cross-sport comparison.
Me too.
But to talk
Love
about
it.
the Browns real quickly.
I have so much
also-
time on my hand, my friend.
I can see that. Talking about the Browns real quick though, it's getting kind of scary for Baker Mayfield because I don't know what else he needs right now. You have two of the best wide receivers in the game. I saw this stat. It's the only team in the NFL that is paying two wide receivers top 10 money at the position. You have a solid backfield of Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And of course you're playing against the Ravens. The Ravens they make a lot of teams look bad. But Baker now has weapons galore. And I was watching some of the game highlights. He was just making some bad throws, putting his wide receivers in bad positions, putting balls behind them, putting the balls, OBJ is a great wide receiver. He can catch anything. But if you're putting the ball a couple inches off the ground, it's the accuracy. I think it's also a little of the trust that he has, putting those balls out there. Again, it's only week 1, but for Baker, this is year 3. So a lot of people, they were excited what they saw in his rookie year, but it's year 3. You have the players there. They have to do something with it.
Sure.
True.
And
not only that, he has of course David Njoku, Austin Hooper, their offseason
tight end.
acquisition. They have their draft
There you
pick
go.
Harrison Bryant, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt for your short game, your
Even more weapons.
great intermediate passing. But of course, this should security blank for Baker Mayfield. Had Mark Andrews when he was successful with the Sooners in Oklahoma. So we shall see if he could do some adjustments. Again, the problem is their offensive line. They need Dante Skirkin. They have their talent, but they need to protect Baker so he won't tippy-tap outside the pocket.
Yes, agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
All right, moving on to our next game. I know this wasn't a headlining game whatsoever, but for Tito Marts, I know it's so good to see Lolo Ben Roethlisberger
Lolo Ben.
playing again
Poor
after
Ben.
12 months out of football. He completes
Yes.
21 of 32, passes for 229, free TDs. You know what? Backyard Ben, he's still got it, leads the Steelers 26-16. But Coach Martz, I also want to mention about Pittsburgh. I think they have one of, if not the best, pass rushing trio in the AFC with Bud Dupree, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt. That's gonna take them far this year.
Well, of course, Cam Hayward from the Ohio State University. Of course, the Buckeyes having what a week for all these guys. Cam Hayward doing batted a few balls and they got that W. Of course, you can be happy for Uncle Ben, Big Ben Roethlisberger. I saw his rehab journey. They posted videos all over the Pittsburgh Steelers YouTube page. If you guys wanna see what was happening, he has all muscles of his hands popped out except for one attached on his ulnar. I think it was on his ulnar ligament popped off. But looking at him moving really well, and of course being still the tough guy he is, it's so nice to see veterans coming back and providing numbers for them. But in providing stability, he made Juju Smith-Schuster look like a full caliber receiver. Chase Claypool is also an impressive guy whenever he runs those routes. You could see he's just a big guy who plays wide receiver. Of course, lost wide receiver coach who died before the season started. The guy, I forgot, the name is on the tip of my tongue, I'll remember it later. But whenever you have Mike Tomlin's squad playing defense the way, and you have a stabilizer in Big Ben Roethlisberger, of course, they're always contenders for the playoffs.
Right. And
going off of that.
go ahead, Steven.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, they were in the playoff hunt last season, and that was with Mason Rudolph at the helm. But this is a different team with Ben Roethlisberger. They look so different, the way they play. And going off what Coach Hammer was saying, Big Ben is a big guy. He doesn't get the name Big Ben for nothing. He's 6'5". He's listed at 240. I'm sure he weighs more than that. And you could see that when I watched a little bit of the game. The pass rush gets to Ben. They can't pull him down. There's arm tackles. There's a player that's trying to grab him by the legs. Ben can just shove them off, and he can keep the play going, which is great for his wide receivers, his tight ends, because it gives them more chances to make these plays. And, it's a different team now. I really think the Steelers, if I remember correctly, you could see the Steelers make a run for it possibly near the end of the season.
Right. And it's great to see that Backyard Ben's off-season regimen of a six-pack of Bud Lights working well for him.
And I need to mention this to all my teammates and most of my teammates watching right. They're stuck at home. You guys do not push your books at me. I will never wear socks. Watch Ben Roethlisberger, mid-socks, baby. Still wearing the mid-socks of the early 2000s. This guy's pushing the short socks and white tights on me. Doug, come on, man.
I love it. All right, Steven, going on to other younger quarterbacks now in the AFC.
Yeah.
We'll play a game of odd man out. So I'm gonna mention some wins by young quarterbacks. But a guy over here among these three QBs just doesn't fit. I'll start. Bills win 27-17 versus the Jets. Josh Allen, he's the reason why the Bills won by 10, but he's also the reason why they didn't win by 24 because of his fumbles.
Yeah.
Number 2, Jaguars 27 versus Colts. Gardner Minshew, record-setting performance. Minshew Mania still very much alive. In fact, he's being nominated for AFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's something. Mm-hmm. So the magic of the mustache for Gardner Minshew is still working. And finally, Bears 27, Lions 23. Mitchell Trubisky completing 20 of 36, 3 TDs, no interceptions. Who doesn't belong in the picture?
I don't believe in Trubisky. You have to put an asterisk there to that win.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
If DeAndre Swift doesn't drop that ball, I don't know how he dropped it in the end zone. That's a winning touchdown. He dropped it. If he doesn't drop it, you have to give Trubisky some credit. Of course, he went 8 for 10, 89 pass yards, all 3 of his touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They won ugly, but they found a way to win. But I think maybe this game is more on the Lions losing the game rather than the Bears winning.
Right.
I still don't have any faith in Mitch Trubisky. I don't know why he's the starting quarterback for the Bears.
All right.
Sorry.
That was supposed to be an L. If Swift caught it, that was an L.
Exactly.
And what was Jamie Collins, the linebacker for the Lions, thinking? Headbutting a referee?
He's just crazy. He's just crazy. He's been crazy for the longest time. He has been crazy for the longest. Why would you hit an official? I mean, come on, man. Not good. Not
you
smart.
can hit
Not
people
good,
in football.
That's why he always gets jetted from the patch. He can do his job, but he's just crazy.
Oh my goodness me!
Of
the
all
Lions,
the people to hit.
The official. Okay, nice one.
Yeah,
nice
exactly.
one. Penalty targeting who? Official.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Okay, and of course, our marquee matchup in the AFC. Of course, everyone was waiting for this. Patriots 21 versus the Miami Dolphins 11. Tito Mart's Cam Newton just changes everything because, okay, I'm trying to remember the last time Tom Brady ran the read option was never.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, I mean, immediately, he just changed the look of Bill Belichick's offense, right? In his very first game.
Oh, definitely. This is what coaching is all about. They know their spare parts. They know what they need to do. Next gen stat, this amazing. 88% of their possessions they ran. It's either a run pass option, an RPO, or a designed run. A lot of those QB power. Again, they went with their heavier packages, 2 fullbacks, running backs, 2 tight ends, Cam Newton and 1 receive. They maximized the legs of Cam Newton. He was smiling, he was dashing, tippy-tapping on the end zone. And of course, you got to see that. Andrews, the offensive line, getting a spike. Cam Newton, 2 touchdowns. Josh McDaniels maximizing the skill set of the guys that they have. Of course, Julian Edelman dropped a few passes. Mikael Harry had a crucial draw there on the third down. But for the most part, the Patriots ran and they did what they have to do. This the Patriots is all about. They need to do what needs to be done. They do what needs to be done to get that W, and then they go to the next job.
All right.
Yeah, going off what coach is talking about, like what we said, Cam Newton, when we found out he was going to the Patriots, we knew this wasn't going to be a Tom Brady offense. This was going to be something completely different. The Superman came out, but the only thing I worry about here is, Cam rushed the ball 15 times. If he does that over a 16-game season, that's 200 plus carries. And the one thing we always talked about is the one thing he needs to worry about is staying healthy. Cam Newton can't make a difference if he's not playing. So, again, I'm excited. I'm happy they won. I love when Cam Newton performs well. I think when Cam Newton is doing well, the NFL, benefits from it. He's one of their, their brightest stars. And he had an efficient day. You look at the stat line, 75 rush yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 15 for 19 passing, 155 yards. That's not a bad day at all. Obviously, like Coach said, a couple drop passes. It could have been even better. But the thing is, again, the Patriots need to keep an eye on this. They can't be rushing Cam Newton every other play. Otherwise, he's going to break down. And I saw this stat. The Patriots have the number 1 toughest schedule in the NFL. Just to look at their next 4 games, they go to Seattle. They come back home to the Raiders. They go to Kansas City. They go to Denver, and then they have to play the 49ers back at home. It's going to be a tough, long road for the Patriots. So best to keep Cam as healthy as possible.
All right.
Well, they don't care. They only have for a season. As long as they win, they don't care. They would be next man up after this season. But it's so fun to see Cam Newton enjoying again, smiling again, and it's just winning. That's the way it is.
And definitely, Cam Newton sends a solid message in his opening game with New England. Do not touch my 2 chains when I win you the ball game. Miami, do not.
Especially when Grandmama gave it.
Hands off.
Tried snatching those chains.
Right. But anyways, to add to the storyline, Bill Belichick 1, Tom Brady 0 with this victory.
That's right.
We'll go into that in a bit. But Steven, just to conclude our AFC discussion, we had another notable game. So the Titans beat out the Broncos. This was just yesterday, I think, 16-14. So I don't know how Stephen Gostkowski pulled off a miracle of sorts after missing 3 consecutive field goals. But I wanna mention about how Denver, Vic Fangio, questionable clock management.
Yeah.
But a huge loss for Denver. Okay, so Titans, they get their new pass rusher in Jadeveon Clowney, who gets his first sack. But for Denver, Von Miller is out for the season. This could have been like, I don't know. Their offense, was gonna improve this year with Jerry Jeudy, Drew Lock, and everyone. But Von Miller, to have him gone for the year, that's a huge blow. He could have formed a legit pass rush duo with Bradley Chubb on the other side.
Yeah, no, it's a really big loss. Von Miller is one of those 5 to 10 players on the defensive side of the ball where once he's on the field, he can make plays, he can change things. Just the fact that he's not going to be there for the rest of the year, it's a huge loss for Denver because Denver's been really primed for the last season or two. Obviously now they have their quarterback, they have more weapons, and you can already see it in Jerry Jeudy. There's so much excitement around him. Just the route running alone, you could see some of the moves he was making on these veteran cornerbacks, making them miss, making them go the wrong way. And this guy's only in his first year. So it's a huge blow. It's a tough loss for the Broncos. Obviously, it's just the first week of the season. We're really excited, of course. But, these games are going to count. Anytime that you can win a game, especially where you're in a close game, you're in position to take advantage of it. You have to get these wins. So, maybe a couple weeks down the road, you might look back on this game and really regret, not taking advantage of this game that they had in hand.
Right. Well, I don't know. That's a huge loss for Denver. But again, for Tennessee, they got their. I mean, with the loss of Jarrell Casey, at least Tito Martz, they got Jadeveon Clowney,
My
right?
favorite, Jadeveon Clowney, first possession right away, making his presence felt, sting that run, providing inside penetration, providing outside penetration. Ended up on 9 different spots last year, providing on every gap imaginable. You want inside penetration, you got Jadeveon Clowney there. You want outside setting the edge, Jadeveon Clowney is there. He did a good job yesterday. And of course, Derrick Henry. This is my type of team, the Tennessee Titans old school team. Of course, Jonnu's a tight end who H-back provide max protection for Tannehill and had crucial catches yesterday in that game-win drive for them. And of course, getting capped off by Gostkowski. Why do you doubt this guy, man? He has been proving that he's a winner. Came out of the injury list a week ago. I think a week or 2 weeks ago. Got signed by his former mate Mike Vrabel. And Ram, winning that game for Tennessee, despite missing 3 field goal attempts. And I think that was 180 and 2 field goal attempts. I'm not sure. Got to check on this. But of course, a win. Defense is there. The physicality is there. And Ryan Tannehill is doing the best Alex Smith impersonation that he can.
Yeah, redemption is sweet. That was so nice for you were just kind of wondering as the game was going on, like he misses field goal after field goal after field goal, and then the game is winding down. It's like, is he gonna get a chance to redeem himself? So it was really nice to see that.
Right. And I bet the whole, of course, the stadium was empty, but all of Tennessee was like, bless his heart. I hope he makes the next field goal.
Why you do that?
All right. So going now to our to the games over at the NFC. Tito Martz, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers off to a very rough start, dropping their first outing 34-23. Okay, Tom Brady, this is not the debut that you're hoping for to start this new chapter in Tampa Bay. But, Coach Martz, what do you think about this? Peyton Manning on ESPN, he goes on Sunday morning and says, all right, so Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, it's all about managing expectations. Like, people are saying, we signed Tom Brady, we're going to go 16-0. He's not going to throw an interception. That's not real life in the NFL. Like, these miscommunications with Mike Evans, who's banged up, jumping offside multiple times for their defense, limited playbook issues. I mean, it's still early goings in the season, but there's still lots of time for them to catch up.
True. Of course, I always go back that the trench life. Of course, the offensive line needs to do their work. Tom Brady was hurt, was pressured from the outside by Cam Jordan and those bad boys to the inside. Of course, that pass rush of the New Orleans Saints put a little pressure on Tom Brady. Mike Evans banged up with his hamstring. Chris Godwin was not in tune with the way they were running their routes. Of course, Howard was maximized, getting up on the slot, putting his hand in the dirt. Gronk had 2 targets for 11 yards. That of all the things that Tom Brady is very comfortable about, I was really looking forward that whatever happens, there would be Gronk. That would be a security blanket. But no, they didn't that. Of course, Leonard Fournette almost like goose egg on his first game. Ronald Jones was very impressive, but this is a testament on how the New Orleans Saints and their continuity are really primed for a Super Bowl run this year. Their O-line is stacked. Ryan Raddick was putting in work, and Alvin Kamara was very, very healthy. They have Janoris Jenkins now on their backside. The Jack Rabbit had pick 6 on Tom Brady. Marcus Williams, who got burned by the Vikings, redeemed himself, and hopefully this would be the year of the Saints. And it's not an alarm sound for the Buccaneers, but they do need to do some work on the defensive line because that's the main part of their offense. If they can't give Tom Brady time, he can't have timing routes. He's precise about that.
Right. Also, Steven, like when I was going through the post-game interviews, here's something I noticed. Bill Belichick, whenever Tom Brady doesn't play well, it's all about, we didn't play well. We as a team have to move on to the next game. But here, under Bruce Arians, in his first game, concerning Tom Brady's pick 6 to Janoris Jenkins, Bruce Arians goes ahead and says to the media, you know what? Those are bad, terrible turnovers. It's on Tom Brady. Like, how do you see this dynamic playing out between the two?
Well, it's a situation where both coach and quarterback are going to have to adjust. They're going to have to, they were talking about it that, the coaching staff in Tampa Bay, they want to do certain things, but they also have to adjust their game plan to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like Coach Hammer was saying, Tom Brady isn't a guy, like if the pocket breaks down, he's not going to scamper out and get you 10 or 15 yards. He's going to go down. That's just the type of player he is. Tom Brady is 43 years old. The mobility isn't, well, it never really was there. It's not part of his game. But, there's going to be adjustment period. And let's take a step back. This is the New Orleans Saints. Any team in the NFL is going to have trouble playing against the New Orleans Saints. Next to the Baltimore Ravens, I think the New Orleans Saints are one of the most complete teams in the league. Defense and offense. Coach Hammer also mentioned there's a lot of continuity. Sean Payton and Drew Brees have been doing this for a decade now. So, there's not like, it's a different situation with Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is putting on a new jersey for the first time in 20 seasons. So there's going to be growing pains. You're playing against one of the best teams in the NFL. And, he had some good passes during the game. You could see it, especially, I believe, in the O.J. Howard touchdown. Nice fade over into the end zone. But again, those bad passes, Tom Brady's going to look at the film. He's going to cut them out. And you could see, it's the first game playing with this team. The first interception, you could see there was obvious miscommunication between him and Mike Evans. I believe they're going to get it sorted out. I'm really looking forward to the next matchup against the Saints and Bucks, because since they're in the same division now, we get treated to not just one, but two matchups between Drew Brees and Tom Brady. So I think we'll see the real kind of teams are going to play in that second matchup later in the season.
I'm loving it.
Me too, man.
Going into another GOAT QB over in the NFC. Packers 43 versus Marts. This was the Aaron Rodgers. Screw you, Jordan Love. Screw you. Screw you, Matt LaFleur.
Man.
The bad man has returned. 364 yards, 4 TDs, no turnovers, no sacks against the division rival Vikings. But the numbers, Coach Martz, they don't do justice. How about the A-Rod laser beam to Devontae Toe Tap Adams for the TD? I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he had lots of things to say in this game.
Well, I have another favorite now, Marcus Valdez-Scantling. Dropped two crucial passes. Could have been a bigger score for the Green Bay Packers, but I love pissed off Aaron Rodgers. He just plays well, has the cojones to throw it under 20 seconds in the second quarter. But Jair Alexander, very, very impressive. Former first pick of the Green Bay Packers, really doing well on that side. He had a safety coming off that cornerback blitz. Of course, I love secondary guys. And getting a pick on that second quarter. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, they didn't draft a wide receiver because they had MVS, they have Adams, they have, of course, Devontae on there. And they trust these guys. They have AJ Dillon, their running back, and the O-line still solid, but of course, the scout double check. And their defense, the one that we loved last year, is still holding on this year. We shall see if they can finish the whole season.
All right.
Yeah,
you know what, Steven? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to go off what Coach Hammer was saying. This was a divisional matchup, and, the Packers winning this game is a really big step, of course, to the goal of getting back to the promised land. I mean, the Packers, let's not forget, they were just one game away from making it to the Super Bowl last season. Yeah. They lost to the 49ers in the divisional championship. They could have been playing the Chiefs. So, and again, to see Aaron Rodgers putting up these numbers in week one, like you said, 364 yards, 32 for 44. It could have been even better if, like Stephen A. Smith always says, Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man.
You gotta put another adjective that he's a bad, pissed off man.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that after the draft. Drafting Jordan Love, maybe this could have been like something to add even more of a fire to Aaron Rodgers. Not that he needed it, because we saw some of the throws. Aaron Rodgers, he made some throws that only him and maybe two or three other quarterbacks in the league can make. Maybe Mahomes, Russell Wilson. There's a certain class of these quarterbacks where they're running off the back foot to the corner of the end zone. They make it perfectly, only where the receiver can catch it. It's beautiful. Aaron Rodgers, if you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, you have a good shot of making some noise.
Okay, but I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but Aaron Rodgers is not hopping back on the 2011 time machine anytime soon. Okay, that was a exceptional game from him.
You could have
But-
fooled me.
well, let's wait and see for his next few games if the bad man is still gonna be,
We'll see.
a really really pissed off
Well,
bad man.
he would always be pissed, and he has that defense. Again, Minnesota had 7 minutes on ball possession in the first half.
Yeah.
7 minutes. 3 and out, and one scoring drive. I mean, 7 minutes. That's a testament on how well you control that football. Your defense is putting pressure, and of course, you control the clock, you control the game. 7 minutes. I mean, how you like that now?
Yeah, you can't score if you don't have the ball. That's I remember a coach of mine, even though it's a different football, you can't score literally if you don't have the ball. So if you play that type of style where you control the clock, you grind out the games, the other team never has a chance to put any points on the board.
Right. All right. So that does it for the NFC North. Of course, Aaron Rodgers again doing only Aaron Rodgers things. But Steven, we got to talk about I think toughest division in all of football. We're in it.
Yep.
The NFC West. I mean, at this point, the number 1 seed in the NFC West is up for grabs. I mean, any team has a legit chance at it. Let's start with the LA Rams with their 20-17 victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Tito Marts was happy about this. Okay, so 5 minutes left in the game. Cowboys down by 3. Chance to really, reverse their fortunes. And then comes 2 short plays to Zeke Elliott. And the 3rd down play that, seals the Rams' victory. Jalen Ramsey breaks up that pass. And Coach Martz, Jalen Ramsey is, I don't know, he's worth every penny that he was signed to. He just shows why.
That was a bad call. That was a catch. Of course, that was a catch. But, of course, the receiver extended his forearms. Again, if you only use your forearm on a chicken wing, that's enough separation. But if you let the officials make all, you extend it outside your frame, you have half a meter to cover it. If you extend it more than that, we'd call it as offensive pass interference. Michael Gallup, that's what happened. But of course, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, all those guys providing a lot of defensive pressure against Dak Prescott. You saw that clip on Aaron Donald bench pressing Zach Martin, the premier first team pro guard of the Dallas Cowboys, bench pressing him towards the QB. But of course, it was stopping the run, which is the Rams do. And of course, having those lockdown secondary guys are a big for them. And they did, of course, Sean McVay did what is supposed to be done on offense for big short plays. And Roberts being the number 1 target. I like it.
And of course, we talked about that LA Rams defense. But how about this, Steven? Going to the side of the Seattle Seahawks with their 48-25 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. How about this? Jamal Adams, he's out of the dark cloud that is New York. Game high 12 combined tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits, 1 sack as a Seahawk. I know this isn't the Legion of Boom Seahawks, but still, Jamal Adams, he's still showing why he's one of the top 2 safeties in football.
Yeah, he's proven why so many teams were clamoring over him. I mean, even or for us with the 49ers, we were thinking about it too, like getting him. I mean, any defense he steps on, he's going to make better. We're talking about, he's only 24, hasn't even entered his prime, and he's probably a top 10 defensive player in the league. You read the stat line, and Jamal Adams even fired a shot at his old team. He said, and this is, I quote, he says, "It's nice being on a team that can actually score 38 points." So, when you're playing on a team that's scoring, it lessens the pressure that you have, because you can go out there, you can take more risk, you can play harder, faster, because you don't have to worry about, if I make a mistake, I'm going to put us in a deeper hole. You have Russell Wilson putting points, just being like Russell Wilson, it makes the job a lot easier. So it's actually, we might even see a completely more unleashed version of Jamal Adams this season, being with the Seattle Seahawks now.
True. And true. And
very, very scary.
To top it all off, I mean, he looked like the late great Sean Taylor.
Yes.
The way that he
Wow.
I
see
mean,
that.
it's the remix, babe. As what R. Kelly says, he was all over the field. He was putting in tackles. He was hitting hard this game. I mean, it's amazing how a full, healthy season we had on the
All right. So, Steven, this one's gonna sting, but we have to be critical about our guys.
Of course.
Arizona 24, our 49ers 20. But okay, I'll be completely objective about this. I know it's tough, but
Same.
when you are so sloppy, even on special teams, when you have a block punt, when you give chances to any competitive team in the toughest division in football, those errors will come back to haunt you every single time. And okay, I know Kendrick Bourne, he's standing up for Jimmy Garoppolo, saying that, oh, it's on us. We weren't able to catch it well. But when your patented running attack isn't being spoon-fed to you by Kyle Shanahan, you as the franchise QB must step up and respond, even though you have, you lack options at the wideout. It's on you to make something happen for your team, right?
Yeah, I watched this whole game, and being completely objective, the 49ers, this doesn't look like the team that was playing in the Super Bowl a couple months ago. They don't, if they were going to play like this, they don't deserve to be in it. Talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, again, the franchise quarterback, he looks slow. His reactions were very slow. His reads were slow. A lot of the throws that he made were a second late behind receivers. You even saw that on the last play of the game as they were driving down the field, possibly to get the winning touchdown. The throw to Trent Taylor, he ran an out route. Jimmy Garoppolo hesitated. That throw needs to be made right as the receiver's making his break, so it goes to him. He waited until after the break. Cornerback makes the play. That's the end of the game. But not only that, it's also dangerous because George Kittle, who's one of their most important players, he suffered because of this, because on one of the plays, it was a screen play. So George Kittle leaks out to the left side. Garoppolo, again, takes a second to find the play, throws it high. Kittle has to leap up to make the catch. Budda Baker hits him low and injures Kittle. Hopefully he's not going to be out, for an extended period of time. But the plays that you have to make, because on the other side of the ball, Kyler Murray is just, shredding them apart. And this is kind of the kryptonite of the 49ers. We saw it last year. The 49ers were able to beat the Cardinals both times in their games, but they were close games. If I remember, the Niners won one game by only 3 points. The other game, they won by 10 points. So, Kyler Murray, like a Lamar Jackson, a Russell Wilson, they are scary for the 49ers because they negate the number one trait of the 49ers, which is their pass rush. There were so many times where, Nick Bosa or Eric Armstead were so close to getting an arm on Kyler Murray, spins around, runs for 8-9 yards, finds DeAndre Hopkins. This is the toughest division in football. And, if I were to rank it right now, it feels like the Cardinals are maybe the second or third best team. A couple of years ago, they were easily the last team in the NFC West. I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze into the playoffs at the second best team as the way they're going. Their trajectory is definitely going up.
True.
Right. And I know Coach Martz was in awe of Cliff Kingsbury's perfect
I wish I looked
jawline.
like him. I wish I had this hair. Those are the top three things I observed. Number
I
one,
wish I had his
Jimmy Garoppolo targeted his wide receivers 10 times. 10 times. I sent this to you, Niner gang boys. 10 times. Now he misses Bo Samuel, who was out for the season with an injury in camp. Brandon Ayuk is not active in this game, so he missed those slot receivers that give short throws, and George Kittle was lost for a quarter and a half. Number two, Kyler Murray plays like he's 7 whenever he's outside the pocket. He moves, maximizes again 15 targets, 14 out of 15 catches for DeAndre Hopkins. Larry Fitzgerald, always be sure hands right there. They maximize their own, and their defense is on point. And number 3, of course, Cliff Kingsbury. What a hands, man. I wish I had this hair and I could rock the glasses just like that. That game plan was amazing. They nullified the pass rush that the Niners had.
No sacks.
Exactly.
And another thing to add about Kyler Murray, he's running around the field. But one underrated trait that he has, if you notice, he protects himself very well. He's not like a Lamar Jackson who's going to run into the contact. Kyler, maybe it's because he's a smaller quarterback. I think he's about 5'9", 5'10". You notice he knows when to slide and he knows when to extend the play. And even though it's his second year, that's a really good trait to have because that can help him extend his career even longer.
But I wanna key in on this. Good point though, Steven, about Kyler Murray. I did notice that about him, knowing when to slide, knowing when to avoid that contact, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, Coach Mart's like, okay, in this game, this is so misleading. Jimmy Garoppolo had a higher passer rating than Kyler Murray, but that's where the analytics fails you. I mean, it doesn't show you the whole context of the game because no doubt Kyler Murray was outplayed him.
Of course, that's why you need to watch the games.
Yeah.
You need to see the eye test.
Stats aren't everything. Yeah, if you see the stat line, you're like, oh wow, Garoppolo had a great game. But if you see the throws that he missed, you would have been like, who is this guy? Why is he missing these throws by so much? And even the catches, he didn't make these balls easy for the receivers to catch.
Now he misses Emmanuel.
Oh, they do. I mean, in breaking news, of course, they did sign Mohamed Sanu. So hopefully things will start fixing out in the later weeks. Like Coach said,
Is this Cincinnati Manu or New England Mohamed?
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully the Atlanta version. we don't want the New England version.
Oh my gosh.
But we'll see. Again, as a fan, it's only week 1. But if I'm going to be objective about it, I'm actually kind of worried for the Niners because it feels like they've taken not just 1, maybe 2 or 3 steps back because the passing game is non-existent. Like Coach Hammer said, you have 10 targets to wide receivers. Their job is to catch balls. Why aren't you throwing it to them?
Right.
So it's kind of scary.
Right. Scary and worrisome is the best way to describe that.
Well, 10 targets to wide receivers, that's PFL, not NFL. That's Philippine version of your football league.
All right. So from a worrisome game, how about this? Our Washington football team, WFT, this was the most WTF game for me. 27 versus 17. They pull it off against Philadelphia, but I don't know, Tito Martz, how about this? I think the ghost of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid has haunted even the Philadelphia Eagles. Because they're so injured.
You know who they need? They need Tyron Hill and Dikembe Mutombo to block for Carson Wentz. I mean, this guy doesn't have 3 of his starters offensive line. Again, I need to send the love to the offensive line. If you can't protect Carson Wentz, he loves to hang on to that football. He doesn't deliver quick passes. He likes the play to develop. And if you don't have your string right tackle, right guard, and left tackle, you would have problems. That happened. I mean, it's treated like potatoes. They were bringing sacks with load. You're coming here. He had Jonathan Allen. He has one. Duron Pay. Come here. John Parade. I mean, this is like Dynasty Warriors on PlayStation. They had defensive line on defensive and on defensive. Pressure is always there. Could only produce diamonds, they would be millions by now.
True.
Yeah, going off what Coach Hammer said, I mean, if I check the stats right, I think there was 8 sacks in this game for Wentz.
Yes.
So
8 sacks.
It's kind of hard to throw the ball when your butt's on the ground, So and you look at the Washington football team. The line. So, of course, we the number 2 overall pick in the recent draft, Chase Young, he got a sack. And it looked like it was going to be a win for the Eagles. They were up 17-0 early in the game. But then Carson Wentz started, making some bad passes, 2 interceptions. And, you could probably attribute that to the pass rush. You have less time to throw. It's kind of hard to throw when there's, a 300-pound guy like coming at you, trying to kill you.
If you see Ryan Kerrigan's face when they showed the replay coming downhill from that B gap right on the face of Carson twice. I mean, that game changed when Ryan Kerrigan put some pressure on him.
Yep.
Yeah, and you imagine, you get in football, you get one hit on a guy, he's gonna start thinking about it. He's gonna start looking over his shoulder. But 8 times, that's gotta be tough for anybody.
True, and again, Philadelphia is just like the walking wounded over here. They're starting running back Miles Sanders. He missed the game with a hamstring injury. They have this aging wide receiver duo of Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. Carson Wentz is like their most durable player at this point. So Philadelphia, I'm sorry, but I don't know. They're just too injured to function right now.
They're one hamstring pop away from imploding. I mean, Zach Ertz was not happy. Dallas Goedert was being groomed at tight end. One of throws was going his way. Zach Ertz dropped a crucial catch that could have put them in goal range. So yeah, of course, Philadelphia had their Super Bowl run, but injuries are piling up.
Yes, it is. Yes, they are. All right, so looking forward now to week 2. Steven, I asked you what did you select for your game to watch out for in week 2, and give us your bold prediction on it.
This is kind of tough because, obviously it's just the first week of the season. We don't know everything about these teams, but I saw this kind of popped out on the schedule for me. I'm excited to see the Cam Newton Patriots take on Russell Wilson and those Seahawks in Seattle.
Nice.
It's almost like kind of like Cam Newton, if you think about it, is a bigger version of Russell Wilson. Obviously, Russell Wilson, though, more established as a passer. I'm kind of wondering, again, what kind of version we're going to see with Cam Newton, what kind of offensive sets, Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick are going to throw at the Seahawks. And of course, now, with Jamal Adams, he's such an exciting player to watch. Definitely one of my top 5 players to watch that isn't a 49er. Another one is Saquon Barkley. But on the defensive side, Jamal Adams, you have to keep your eye on him because he's going to make a play.
Yeah.
It seems like every down he's going to make a play. He's going to be involved. So I'm excited to see that. And they're going to be playing in Seattle. So I'm excited to see what Cam can do on the road.
So Pats versus Seahawks. Coach Martz, you're up. What's your any bold predictions for week 2? Any games to watch out for?
Thursday night football, of course, by Ohio, the Browns and the Bengals. I always love supporting my family from Xenia, Ohio. Much of my love to you and, of course, my Ohio State family. I love all of you guys, and this would be a good one. Burrow, of course, played well, despite their kicker pulling their calf on that game-tying goal. But Joe Burrow was very impressive on his final, I think it was a minute and 30 drive, marching his team down, and Baker Mayfield trying to make well with whatever he has on his squad, which is a very squad. I'm looking forward to that on Friday, Manila time.
Okay, so that wraps up our recap for NFL 2020 opening week. Again, I'd like to thank SS Steven Silva and of course Tito Martz, Coach Hammer for joining us.
No
Call
problem.
me Uncle. we're with the Ateneo crew, so you gotta call me Uncle Mart.
Uncle Martz.
All right. Before we end, Steven.
Wait. Before
go
we
ahead.
end, I want to send a major shout out to all the PAFL squads that are supporting you guys. The rundown has been getting a lot of tread with the PAFL, so you guys do stay safe, stay well, Steven. In California, do get some, and of course, I love all of you guys. Special shout out to DD, Darren for the Game Pass. I love NFL Game Pass. I almost don't. And Dags, Migs, and of course, girls Fermina and Marla. Thank you, all of you guys, especially Radyo Katipunan.
All right, thank you, Coach Martz. And Steven, shout outs. Greetings.
Shout outs. Mostly shout out to you guys. I am so, the NFL is growing in the Philippines. Maybe when I moved to the Philippines 10 years ago, not too many people knew about the NFL, but now you're starting to see people wearing jerseys. People are starting to gather to watch games. So I'm just thankful for the fans that, listen, that tune in, that message you guys. And again, thank you to Radyo Katipunan for giving us this platform.
Again, thank you also to Radyo Katipunan for our time this afternoon. And to all Pinoy NFL fans out there who are tuning into us, please send us any questions, comments, or greetings over at FB or Twitter, wherever you can access us. Just send a message to Steven, send a comment to Coach Hammer, to myself as well on my Twitter account. We'll always be excited to answer any questions that you may have.
What's your Twitter account again, Anthony? It's so hard to remember.
For next time.
No lookbooks. I'm not wearing ankle socks. Please, no lookbooks. For you youngers, no lookbooks.
All right, that does it for us. Again, Coach H, thank you so much. Steven, thank you so much. And to everyone tuning into us on the Radyo Katipunan 87.9. Peace. We'll be back again next time for more NFL talk only here on your Tailgate Tropa. Peace. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Take care.
Stay safe.
Welcome to the Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!